to one person here, but Patty Kestel was voted the #1 PE teacher in the Midwest section in America last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think she actually won all of the whole thing for the whole US.
So she's she was voted the #1 teacher in the US based on her teaching practice and what she does. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah. So I just connected. I saw that she sent a tweet out this week about how she'd just been given four iPads for the start of the next school year. I too have just been given 4 iPads for the start of the school year, which starts on Monday. And so I just replied to her tweet and said, you know, we're in the same boat. Let's start discussing this. We had a Google Hangout. We spoke about it. We set up a shared Google document where we're now sharing sort of things that work, things that don't work, and ideas of how we can most successfully use it. So that's the power and that's the beauty of it. Like previously I would just be in my school by myself, not being able to have these conversations, whereas now I can easily connect with people all over the world who are in similar situations to me and really work together in a community.
Yeah, and that's what Nathan is saying about working with Patty. So they both want to know more about iPads. So who here has access to iPads when they teach? Okay, a few of you. So the idea of them connecting from Singapore and from America, coming together on Google Hangout, creating a document that shares their ideas on how to use iPads, how to properly use technology in your instruction. That's an example of how that document will then go on to the PEPLIC website. So any teacher wanting ideas for innovation in technology, the use of iPads, can then have access to that document created by those 2 teachers that will be shared by potentially hundreds of teachers around the world. So that's kind of, again, the power of PEPLIC. Can we just finish off, Nathan and Ross, with, Nathan, I told them about IFAZ, but maybe you can talk a little bit about what you, kind of your direction with IFAZ, and just tell the people a little bit about it to give them some background. And then Ross, you can do the same about your blog when Nathan's finished.
Yeah, so I know Andy's mentioned to you ifaz.com, so it's been up and running for nearly a year now. I started it sort of around this time last year, and with the idea being that I just wanted to have it as a way of reflecting upon what I was doing. So it was never something that I started thinking I want to share all of this knowledge and these things that I'm doing. It was more of a way to reflect on what I was doing, because I find that if I write stuff down, then I can reflect on it. I'd sort of been following Andy's blog for a long time, and I know that I'd had sort of like email contact back and forth with Andy previously to that, and then sort of it just grew from there, and it's grown into a bit of a monster, and it now takes up a lot of my time, but it's something that I love doing. So the idea behind it was that there's a lot of blogs out there about technology in PE, but I wanted mine to be a little bit more than that, so I went with the theme of inquiry in technology, being from a PYP school. And so looking more at inquiry-based learning and how technology can help sort of promote inquiry within physical education. So I know it's something that like Ash Casey, Dr. Ash Casey, and Andy's posted it to his blog about if you go to the hardware store, you go to the hardware store for a drill, but it's not actually the drill you want, it's a hole in the wall. So the drill is the tool that helps you to put that hole in the wall. So that's sort of how I, like in using the blog, I focused on that as like, what is the actual outcome that we want the students to have in this inquiry-based system, and can technology help achieve that rather than just seeing technology as a gadget that's there. So that's sort of the idea behind the website, and I'm trying to update it as much as I can. I've got lots of ideas for the coming school year to put on there, so yeah, keep your eye on it.
Are your the learner profile posters you showed me, are they up yet?
I haven't put them up yet just because I was having a conversation with maybe Ash Mills the other day about the fact that maybe they're going to change risk taker
over the next
to courageous over the next few months.
Yeah, I think they're going to come up with a decision to do that and then implement it
Yeah.
maybe in 2 years. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I wasn't sure whether to put them up yet, but I have a series of posts coming up, which I'm going to sort of release in the next couple of weeks in a whole sort of back to school series of things. So I'll include that in those posts. That'll be learner profile posters, and also like something that I shared with Andy yesterday is I'm working on at the moment is sort of looking at the PSP scope and sequence in terms of active living, identity and interactions, and trying to sort of like color code certain things within that scope and sequence to make it really visible of how students can move through the phases in that scope and sequence. So that's something that I'll share as well.
Okay, great. Ross, can you tell them a little bit about your blog?
Yeah, absolutely. My blog sort of came about just as a result of my journey through Twitter, and the way I kind of describe it to colleagues that I work with is I kind of looked at Twitter as me sort of going along a road, and as I go along that road I've got Nathan putting signs up and Andy putting signs up, and I'm reading all this great stuff along the way. And those things that interest me, you can kind of go on an off-ramp and go into their blogs and actually look at them a little bit more detail. And I kind of felt I needed my own online home, my own off-ramp that people could take to come and visit some of the things that I'm doing that I think are important. And not only that, but to come and sort of give me advice on things that I'm writing and sometimes disagree with it and allow me to get better as a teacher as well. I talk a little bit about technology in mine, and it's called Making PE Fizz. The whole point of mine is to try and think about the things that teachers actually do that get that real buzz and fizz in your lessons. And at the moment I'm doing a series of blog posts called The Myth of the Great Teacher, and it's really the antithesis of that, how they're not really a myth. They're doing things day in, day out that are deliberate, that are allowing student learning to be enhanced that much more than just your average teacher. So I'm kind of looking at it at the point of view at the moment through, really keeping the end point in sight. What do we want from our students when they leave school? And I put a comment up on the PE chat this week saying we have to be teaching students for the next 60 years, and not just for the next 60 minutes. And I'm really looking at it through my sort of lenses at the moment are teaching their head, their heart and their hands. Their head being what they need to know and understand, their hands being what they need to be able to do, and their heart being what we want them to be. And I guess those are massive big things, and I'm sort of trying to break down what I've seen great teachers doing that actually make a difference, much more of a difference maybe than all of the teachers that we might have had. Andy might touch on this later, but it's so interesting to look back at all of our PE experiences, and often, whether they're positive or negative, they're helping us to look to the next 20 years and really make them different to possibly what we had. So I'd encourage you to come and check out my blog, and hope that you can comment on it and just help me along the way, because unlike the two guys here, mine is still in its infancy and I'm really finding my way.
Great, thanks Ross. And what you mentioned, we started the workshop today talking about 4 different areas, right? So what I did, I asked them to pretend that they were writing something called I am a physical educator, and to put it on their chest. And then I asked them to do what? Throw away the physical part for this workshop, that they are educators. And what you're touching upon, teaching for the next 20 years, you're looking at physical, social, emotional, and cognitive development. And what you said, Ross, reinforces that. You know, that is our responsibility, and you're not just hearing it from me, you're hearing it from other great teachers, and you'll see that general theme in the PE network on Twitter and on Peplink. Okay, so we'll end with that, but boys, hang on, wait. Oh, there you are. Thank you very much for taking the time to come and talk to us, boys.
Welcome.
Our pleasure. Welcome aboard.
Okay, and I'll be in touch with both of you soon, okay?
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay, everybody say bye.
Do you want to stay on here, Ross?
Yeah, let's stay on for a bit.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
see you guys. Thanks, man. Okay, so that's essentially, that sums up. You can see, I hope you see, that was a long discussion, but I hope you see the power in that. And as PE teachers, as classroom teachers, first of all, there's lots of PD for classroom teachers, right? Where's our classroom teacher here? Classroom teacher? And classroom teacher. You're lucky. You get lots of opportunity for PD, you know? But we as PD teachers get very, very little. So if you are not intrinsically motivated to create your own PD, you are going to fall behind. And that's not to say you're not a good teacher. So I think you have to actively go out and search and be motivated from inside to make connections with great teachers like that, you know? And the opportunity is there. It's entirely up to you. You create your own destiny in that sense. You create your own professional development. You know, I can honestly say from the time that I started on Twitter, I was on my blog way before Twitter. But my teaching is 10 times better as a result of connecting with people like that. And I promise you, that's why I did Twitter today. I promise you that if you believe and trust in it, that your teaching immediately will become better. And that was the purpose of just kind of showing you how that works, okay? So what time are we on for break? Break's at 1? We still have time? Okay, good. Okay, so we're just going to go quickly back to where we were at. Okay, we're going to quickly go back here for about 5 or 10 more minutes. So you've learned more about Twitter, even if you're on Twitter. So let's just work on this for just 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 more minutes. And then we're going to get up and do an activity. Are there any questions, first of all? Yes? Physical Education Professional Learning Community. So PEP, like PEPLC. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe what you can do, if you're already on Twitter, you can thank Ross Halliday and Nathan Horn for coming to do the Google Hangout. It's a capital P, capital E. Yeah. Capital P, no, the capital P, physical, capital E, education. Yeah, do it after. I'm doing the next session. I'll give you all the physical education, professional. Facing draft. Yeah. Are you following her? At what end? M2U02708.